Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Welcome to Not So Daily Dose. We're trying our best, guys. We're trying our best. But I've been away for a reason, alhamdulillah, because I feel like if I could tell you word for word the things that have been happening in the past week, it's crazy. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so precise. He's so exact. He's so he knows what he's doing, and so sometimes we just have to submit to that flow. I've had a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety and a lot of things that happened that riled up a lot of fear in the past week, and then I realized, actually I'm not, there's nothing to be fearful about. There's nothing to be fearful about, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is constantly moving, right? And there's this beautiful way that people in my history, because I used to be a Christian and read the Bible, and it used to say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will turn the evil of the enemy for your good. And even no matter what it is that you're going through, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a way of turning things around and actually make them for your good. Something might happen, it might trigger you, might make you feel anxious, it might make you feel oh my gosh, this is how can this be happening? But actually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants something good to come out of it for you. And that's exactly what's been happening for me this week, alhamdulillah, where nothing actually was happening to me, it was happening to people, but it caused me so much anxiety and so much fear that it ended up being a good for me, because it reminded me of my journey, and made me reflect on the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It made me reflect of how far Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken me. So many times that we get so stuck in this world of oh, I'm on level this, I want to be on level this, I want to be level this, I want to be doing this, I want to be doing that, not realizing that you're literally living an answered dua. You're literally living in a moment that you were crying for just months ago or years ago, right? You were begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give you whatever it is that you asked, and alhamdulillah he's giving it. But instead of us being focused on the fact that alhamdulillah, we are in this moment, we're living in it, we're so focused on what's next and what's missing and where we should be going and all of that stuff. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, alhamdulillah, allowed me this week to really reflect on that, to see that, right? To see just how incredible my journey has been, and to also have hope. And he also gave me an opportunity to give hope to somebody else, right? I feel like Allah made me an example to somebody who's going through a really difficult time, and they literally they just met me by chance, alhamdulillah. And they told me this story, alhamdulillah, and it caused me a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of fear, because I felt very triggered, because I felt like I had just gone over that. I wanted to get away and move away from that as far as I can. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed me to sit in it, sit into that fear, sit into that anxiety, sit in it and sit with that person. But not only sit with them and be I've been there, but also sit with them and be I've been there, but let me tell you what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to do for you. Let me tell you what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has done. Well, let me tell you what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to do to change your situation, to make it for the absolute best that it can happen for you, right? Because I always say, I can have my own back all day. I can have my own back all day. I can fight all the battles. I can you know what I mean? But when I see somebody in a very difficult situation, or in tears, or in pain, it makes me feel so helpless, and I can't take watching people in pain. And I had to learn that the same strength, and I'm not saying strength as in I'm strong, but the same type of knowing that I can handle everything, for me, it came from people not coming to rescue me. It came from people letting me down. It came from people being people, and the world being the world, and circumstances not working, not being what I had hoped, right? But me just rising above and getting through the difficult challenges, and always being trying to seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala no matter the situation, right? And so I had to learn that just because somebody's coming in and they're triggering you and they're making you feel like, oh my God, I want to just give them the world. I want to help them. I want to do everything for them so that they don't have to go through what I went through. Sometimes actually you have to just be there as an example, live in your truth, living in your alignment, right? Don't let people, lower your emotions. Let me say, lower your emotions, lower yourself, because they need you. They need to see you being positive and being grateful and being happy, because it gives them hope, alhamdulillah, that their situation will change. And as long as you keep speaking to them and say, listen, I want to crumble and like be in this place because I know exactly how it feels, but actually I want to show you what joy is. I want to show you what it means and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do for you and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do for you. The hardest part is over. Alhamdulillah, you are going, forward. I don't know if I'm ever actually even going to talk about this. So like the full details of this, so maybe you can head on over to my YouTube and maybe I'll talk about the full story. And I'm sorry that like the details are a little bit vague, but the lessons that I'm trying to portray is that be grateful, alhamdulillah, for the journey that you've been, and try to be a means of hope for others, right? Like show others that like if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do it for you, Allah will do it for them, right? Like people are going through so many difficulties, people are so sad, people are like going through so much right now, alhamdulillah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us and bless us all. But instead of you kind of going down to their level of sadness, bring them up to you. Fight your urge to fight your urge to crumble with them. Fight the urge to argue why it is that they're sad and justify their sadness. No, live in your goodness and your elevation of gratitude and living with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and being hopeful, so that they can come up and then they can know that like, alhamdulillah, ya Allah, if you dug this person out of the pits, I'm good. And that's really, if there's one thing that I pray that people get from my videos, is just to know that alhamdulillah, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do something for somebody else, he can do it for you. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can allow you to be hopeful and to have a vision for something, he will surely do it. Like it will surely come to pass. If Allah has put a desire in your heart, put a dua in your tongue, made you seek for him in any way, it's because he wants it for you. He wants you to be happy. He wants you to get that joy, that everything that you deserve, because you deserve it. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I pray that you are all well for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah bless us all. May Allah guide us all. And I pray that Allah accepts from us, from me and from you. By the way, I feel like this video almost did not want to come out because I started it and they were just like, my doorbell kept ringing and ringing and ringing and ringing, but alhamdulillah, we got through a whole take without it ringing. So alhamdulillah, I pray that this message reaches the right person at the right time. And if you're going through any type of difficulty, seek out people who don't necessarily justify your suffering, but who show you that like your suffering will be worth something in the end. Reach out to people who are going to give you hope for a future, hope for a life. Reach out to things that like give you hope and give you a vision of like where to go. You might be looking around and seeing like dismal things, but actually if you keep your eyes moving forward and keep your eyes on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will send you examples and things to show you that like actually you're gonna get there, you're gonna be okay, inshallah. So I love you all for the sake of Allah. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.